This video reveals powerful strategies to significantly improve memory for everything encountered through reading and learning. It's a common challenge to quickly forget new information, often struggling to retain it beyond a couple of hours. This phenomenon is frequently linked to the brain's overwhelming saturation from constant digital and hyperstimulation. Information is often consumed superficially, without deeper engagement or practical application, resulting in passive absorption rather than true understanding. This makes long-term recall difficult. Mastering the techniques presented here is essential for anyone looking to optimize their cognitive retention. Let's explore these methods now. To effectively remember what is read, understanding the brain's natural function is paramount. The brain operates as an intelligent machine, optimized for survival and energy conservation. A core priority is maintaining high energy reserves for critical situations. Therefore, the brain tends to discard information deemed unused, as it consumes valuable mental space. If data is not actively utilized, the brain automatically filters it out. It is crucial to signal to the brain that certain information is important for retention. The phenomenon of forgetting was famously illustrated by Hermann Ebbinghaus with his forgetting curve, demonstrating how the brain efficiently eliminates unused information over time. The question then becomes, how can this natural effect be counteracted to retain more of what is learned? Renowned scientist Edgar Dale introduced the cone of experience, which categorizes the most effective learning methods. This framework highlights that the most impactful way to retain information is when it is direct, specific, empirical, and immediately applicable. Building upon this scientific study, effective reading should become an emotional experience. Information is best retained when associated with strong emotional experiences, much like the vivid recall of traumatic events. Second, learning requires significant cognitive effort. Reading must move beyond passive absorption. Instead, it should involve a dialectical engagement, a confrontation with the text through critical analysis, forming arguments, deep reflection, and making connections to other knowledge. This active digestion of information transforms passive intake into dynamic learning. Third, repetition of information is essential. To prevent forgetting, concepts must be revisited with consistent frequency. Consider the effortless recall of multiplication tables versus the struggle to remember historical timelines, even if previously studied. One is repeated indiscriminately for years, while the other might have only been reviewed intensely for a brief period to pass an assessment. The next strategy emphasizes reading as practical and continuous training. A common critique of traditional educational systems is their tendency to present information for hypothetical future needs, rather than for immediate problem solving. This philosophy requires a complete reversal. Learning should be driven by personal curiosity or the desire to address practical problems in the present moment. When faced with challenges or new areas of interest, seeking out resources such as multiple books on a specific topic can provide comprehensive solutions. Emotion and curiosity are powerful drivers that are scientifically proven to significantly enhance both retention and learning. By aligning learning with real-world problems and genuine interest, knowledge is absorbed deeply and retained for longer. For instance, exploring subjects like startup development, business management, or advanced copywriting techniques, when these are directly relevant to current goals or intellectual pursuits, leads to exceptional results and lasting understanding. The next step involves profoundly changing one's relationship with books, transforming them into vibrant sources of engagement. It is imperative to transition from being passive readers to active, engaged participants. Books should not be regarded as untouchable, sacred objects. Instead, they represent an author's thesis, inviting rigorous critical discussion and deep interaction. This involves entering a dynamic dialectical exchange with the material, challenging arguments, forming counter-arguments, and actively debating the concepts presented. The aim is to move beyond superficially absorbing information, striving instead for a profound intellectual confrontation with the text, wrestling with its ideas and making them truly one's own, for deeper understanding and retention. The subsequent strategy focuses on reading as an intense mental weight training exercise. One highly effective approach combines audio support, such as an audiobook, with simultaneous physical reading. Engaging multiple sensory organs for a single task sends a powerful message to the brain. This information is critical and requires full retention. This dual sensory input significantly strengthens memory encoding. Additionally, speed reading presents another valuable method for enhancing retention. This practice forces reading to become a methodical, active exercise rather than a passive experience. By concentrating intensely on reading as quickly as possible without sacrificing comprehension, the mind maintains absolute focus. This emotion
and cognitive investment in the reading exercise dramatically increases the likelihood of retaining significant information. While speed reading may not be suitable for all types of literary works, it offers a compelling technique for lighter books, particularly in genres like personal development. Establishing a consistent reading routine is the next vital step. Just as dietary input determines physical output, the quality of information consumed directly impacts personal growth and overall results. Therefore, it is crucial to carefully select the most impactful books. This not only optimizes precious time, but also ensures that the content absorbed positively shapes one's knowledge and understanding. Begin by researching reputable sources, such as specialized apps or blogs dedicated to curating high-quality literature for book recommendations. This initial selection process is fundamental because a book that directly aligns with one's current problems, interests, curiosities, or helps overcome specific obstacles will yield a far greater impact. Furthermore, an effective routine involves a two-stage reading process. Initially, gain a preliminary understanding of the book's main structure and core arguments. Then, upon revisiting the text for a complete in-depth reading, this prior exposure significantly enhances retention. By encountering the information twice, especially after summarizing key ideas initially, long-term memory is substantially improved. Following this, commit to a dedicated daily reading hour. Consistent engagement, perhaps 30 minutes in the morning and another 30 minutes before sleep, can lead to remarkable progress in pages covered and information retained, solidifying learning over time. The next strategy focuses on developing an effective annotation system. To cultivate active learning through reading, it is essential to overcome any hesitation about writing, underlining, and marking books. An advanced annotation system, often detailed in dedicated resources, proves incredibly useful. Such systems are typically built upon the principle of active recall, where actively engaging with and retrieving information leads to significantly greater retention. This process is deeply integrated within comprehensive annotation methods. For instance, colored sticky notes can be used to classify and categorize information by type, such as historical context, references, key concepts, authors, citations, or illustrative examples. Additionally, larger sticky notes or dedicated sections can be used to write concise summaries every 10 to 15 pages or at the end of each chapter. These summaries should be schematic and written in one's own words. If there is any disagreement or lack of clarity, rereading the relevant sections and revising the summary reinforces understanding. Consistently practicing active recall is paramount for this method, ensuring a dynamic and highly effective learning process. The final strategy involves centralization, building a personal second brain. This crucial step entails consolidating all learned and read information into a unified database, often leveraging digital tools. This digital hub becomes a repository for every piece of content consumed and acquired, whether from physical books, audio formats, articles, media, podcasts, or videos. When focusing specifically on reading, the principles of active recall are applied rigorously. The previously mentioned colored annotation system, for example, directly corresponds to categorized filters within this digital database, associating each type of information with a specific category. When seeking a particular reference, quote, analogy, or story, perhaps for preparing a presentation, a paper, or an article, one can directly access the filtered information. Furthermore, book summaries generated using larger notes and the active recall method are integrated into this system. This involves reviewing annotations made throughout a book, then actively re-articulating everything learned without constant reference, and if needed, reconsulting the text to refine understanding. This iterative process ensures the summary is thorough and serves as an active learning and retention exercise rather than mere transcription. Through this systematic approach, a comprehensive second brain database is constructed, housing all acquired knowledge for effortless retrieval and continued learning. That concludes today's deep dive in enhancing memory and retention. Thank you immensely for your continued support. If these strategies resonate, please consider sharing this video with 3 individuals who would truly benefit from seeing significant progress in their learning journey. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more transformative content, and check out the dedicated playlist right here, featuring all videos related to optimizing your reading and learning experience. Until next time, keep exploring and expanding your knowledge.